will turn my volume up. I will turn y'all's volume up. Stars all the same, and wah.
No, it's just extras.
Extra stars.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm just an extra. Let me rephrase that.
Well, y'all contribute to the content. Greetings and salutations, everyone. We have to apologize.
Ignore that little behind the scenes.
Yeah. We have to apologize because last session's episode 19, somebody, me, forgot to turn the capturing of their audio on. I just thought y'all wanted to hear my sultry voice instead of theirs. But apparently, people want to hear more than just me ramble and talk to myself. So we're going to do a reflection. Yeah. We're going to do a reflection on session 19, episode 19, so that you guys can still know what happened without us just having to do, hey, this happened last time type thing in the next episode. So,
on the last episode of
Dragon Ball Z.
I was trying to think of a way to go like of Rise of the Runelords C or something like that.
Rise of the Runelords R.
Rise of the Runelords Redux.
Let's not go with R. R brings up dangerous connotations.
Fair enough.
So, first things first, though. Let's go ahead and get the announcements out of the way. Less than 5 minutes. You can time me. Here we go. The Planar, Crossroads, and Black Dragon Gaming both have their Patreon going. You can check them out on that if you want to. You can check out the Planar Crossroads on Subscribestar if you want to. The Planar Crossroads is getting close to 500 subscribers. We're about 2 away from this. We're recording this. So once we get there, we're going to give away 2 physical items as well as probably a one-shot. So you will know about that when it happens. And the last thing is, this is an adult podcast that sometimes features adults that sometimes use adult language. You have been warned. I think that's everything.
Thank you, Dad.
Thank you,
I mean,
Daddy.
I've just been trying to avoid using adult language in general. It leads to a positive and healthy change on my mental status.
Well,
And you guys should perhaps encourage such... I can't keep up the PSA tone anymore. Let's get to the fucking game.
You foul-mouthed individuals. Okay, so, giving you guys some lead up, the last session that was posted before this one would be 18. In session 18, they had decided to take the fight to the giants, and we were coming back right at combat. That combat started with Boldrago, and they had all split off. So Boldrago was in the north. It was Egor, Kellery, and Brasut at the east. Yes, the east. And then to the south was Willton, Skoros, and Maltia, which is Skoros' familiar. So, or it's not familiar, it's
Animal companion.
Animal
I could fly into battle the way I am on a familiar, I guess I could have had a Mauler flying fox and did that thing again. That was fun.
All right.
Wow.
So what we're going to do, we're going to cover what happened with Boldrago first, because it was the most story-driven thing that happened, because Boldrago basically depressed this fleeing giant into submission. Now, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but the first thing was chasing it. It swung back at Boldrago. Boldrago cast...
Tried to hold person, but he saves because...
Nat 20.
Yeah, and he also, I think, didn't he whack Boldrago pretty good with that first hit too? Didn't he hit?
Yeah, he smacked him for teens of damage. I mean, it's level 10, so it's not like it was going to take him out in one hit. But before that, he had changed. You had changed into this tiny thing. I can bring it back up so people can see it.
Humanoid, nasty thing.
So I will bring this back up so people can see it. There we go. Put it over on this side. That's what he kind of changed himself into. It was a
Pug. Bam.
Pugwudgie.
Pugwudgie, there it is. I knew it wasn't a Pugwampy, but I kept wanting to say Pugwampy.
A gremlin, I think.
I mean, he's
Yes.
passing out enough misfortunes. Is he not a Pugwampy?
Yeah, all witches are Pugwampies.
It's not AoE though.
No, too bad.
Fair.
Just wait for that third-party content.
Dun, dun, dun.
Pugwampy bloodline.
Ooh.
No. Too good.
Yeah.
Well, the problem with Pugwampy bloodlines is unless you're a Knoll, your party members are misfortune too, so...
A Knoll or anyone benefiting from a luck bonus. So you give them the bless. The blessing isn't a luck bonus.
Null party.
All no
Or that.
party.
We
That's
are a
what
bunch
I
of
did.
doggos.
I like that.
Bow. Bow, 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 bow.
So, Boldrago was doing that, and Boldrago got swung at, and then that's when the eyes and the hexes started coming out.
Yeah. Then he had to make sure that the next hold person, which was the last casting he had prepared, would actually snare him. So he started reducing his will save and then making his life miserable with misfortune. That's when he broke the giant.
Yeah,
mentally.
because I think with that last one you did, it was the misfortune, I think, that you did last.
Yeah.
And he nat 1'd, and we confirmed the nat 1, and that means that he got really depressed. He basically collapsed to his knees after crying, after trying to throw a rock and crying at not hitting Boldrago and just re-examining his life, and all of that happening. He was just broken. This giant is just broken, and Egor, skipping ahead in time, Egor came from after finishing his thing, and then the guy got fatigued. So he was broken. We said mentally and spiritually. He mentally and physically. He was just drained. So he's no longer resisting. And Egor did what to make sure he was secure?
I didn't have any manacles, so the closest thing I had was the crowbar I'd been carrying around. So, using strength stance, I bent the crowbar around the outside of his wrists like a makeshift pair of manacles. They're open at the bottom, kind of like someone bent a big old staple around his arms. And then I borrowed a silk rope from Boldrago so I could lead him around instead of dragging him by the hand, being only 3 feet tall on a 12-foot tall stone giant.
Indeed. And we made it canon that Boldrago's silk rope was all black except for a single strip of silver woven in through it, just for flavor. And did anything else happen at the north combat that we need to cover?
No, Boldrago started his beaconing.
Oh, yeah.
Just depression and some pan bending.
There's also the reference to the Eye of Sauron.
Yeah. Because that was one of the things.
And the fact that Boldrago, after breaking the poor giant as it's blubbering on the ground, comes up and pats him on the back.
Oh,
it's okay. You follow Boldrago.
Something along those lines, yeah. So
it's gonna show you a good path.
But in a really high falsetto because you were
it's gonna show you a good path.
It's gonna show you a good path.
Even smaller than Egor.
So that was the north combat. This giant is just broken, and it's probably going to be the way they get some information or do something going forward. But that's what happened there. And that was the only one of the 3 stone giants that were captured. Before we continue on to the east, everybody that was involved, I think everybody saw, that was in 18, where they saw the scarecrowed, pierced and impaled giants. So,
we should rewind. Did we get to the bit where he was coming back and that happened?
Yeah, we got to that bit because we started in combat, so you guys would have had to already seen that. So, yeah. So that means we're at the east group, which, like we said, contained Egor and Brasut and Kellery. So, that one was over pretty quick. You want to explain what Egor did with the whole thing?
Yeah. So we were in hot pursuit of this giant, and Egor, being the speedy little halfling velociraptor that he is,
hot pursuit,
was trailing his way through the grass just beneath it. The clattering, clanging plates of his repurposed barbell, the only indication of his movement through the grass.
Much like a velociraptor from Jurassic Park.
Yes, that's the analogy. Kellery and Brasut following behind. Not quite as fast, but very nearly. I caught up with the giant first, and by sheer luck, the giant had stepped down next to a sizable boulder, and the barbell swung in from the inside of his calf and shattered the bone using the boulder as the fulcrum, and the giant toppled to the ground, buying him perfectly for a killing blow from Egor, just in time for Kellery and Brasut to catch up with him.
Yeah. So
yes, but you for giants, because as they were running, Kellery popped his mutagen and a potion of enlarged person.
Oh yes, you're right.
So he was the same size and, well, maybe looking closer to a stone giant. And Kellery, because he speaks giant, yelled something along the lines of, "We can take this one together." At which point the giant turns around, sees the rapid scuttling in the grass, and dies messily.
Yeah.
A moment of hope crushed.
Literally.
Oh.
So yes, that's that distraction gives Egor, Kellery's distraction gives Egor the chance to go full misery on that giant's ankle and then upswing into an uppercut, breaking his jaw and rendering him unconscious. And it was over in like 2 moves. So
Yeah.
so Kellery and Brasut kind of get there and they're like, "Oh, okay."
I cast haste before all this started, and that was my single biggest contribution.
Everybody was very speedy.
It was convenient.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's
There was
Egor's
quite a few
already
people kung fu
cartoonish
fighting.
movement speed was exacerbated significantly.
Yes. The next thing, I think that's like the East happened. East was over first, so that's why Egor was able to get up to the beacon, the shining beacon of daylight that Boldrago became. And Kellery and Brasut went down towards the south to help, I believe, Willton and Skoros against the 1 stone giant and 2 dire bears that were down there. And that's where we're going next. So theirs didn't take that much longer either. So you can start in on that because it was basically 1 grapple session.
Yeah, basically. The thing I like the most about the class I am playing is I have what I need when I need it, and then when I realized there were going to be 3 dudes that I was going to be diving into the middle of, it behooved me to grab the trip feats, because when a brawler's flurries can substitute an attack for a trip, so it's just trip that dude, trip that dude, trip that dude, and then they're all provoking from greater trip, and then as they get up, they provoke again. And I won't call myself a control build because, like, all the full casters in this party are going to glare at me way too hard if I do that. So I'm not going to do that to myself. But it was a lot of fun to be able to, like, go up on something that could smoosh me into a little pancake on the ground and then feed me to the bears and then, like, be able to deal with it in a round.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of happened is he had Maltia drop him in the middle of the two bears and the stone giant who were running away. And that drop gave him enough of a space to hit all three of them. I think it was like, with him having haste, he's got two-handed, you said two-weapon fighting.
Yeah, Brawler's Flurry is, I get extra attacks, and then as a Brawler, as the Brawler levels, they're treated as having two-weapon fighting and then improved and up when they go in. So Skoros at 10th level has some attacks, 4 or 5 attacks after being hasted, and I can sub out for CMBs.
Mm-hmm.
And having an animal companion, when I decided I wanted to have not a war cat because the feet could hand me something really big and spooky. I wanted the focus to be on Skoros, not my pet. This time I wanted to do the whip from what I did last time in Runelords. And putting muleback cords on something that now, like, even if I didn't have muleback cords on my Falcon, it would have 13 strength, which is a lot for a Falcon. Throwing it up to where it has 21 and can carry Skoros. It's light encumbered, so I'm a little slow, but it's also really fast, and it's also, what? How we do that? It makes a weird mental image in my mind, but it's also really cool to just 80 feet fly speed.
Yep. So that
remember
flies
your muleback cords, kids. Very good. Actually, I can't wait till we do a lot of math for when I get a permanent ant haul on my animal companion as well, because I'm wondering if I can just pick up the wagon. Off we go.
Okay, we're going to start applying some physics to some of this craziness.
This is a high fantasy magic game.
Yeah.
Physics.
If we start applying physics, the just sheer wind draft of that pure muscle bird flapping down.
Be like a helicopter.
Skoros is going to be glad he doesn't have that much hair left. Just saying.
Yeah.
So, with all of that flurry happening in that combat, the giant basically gets taken out in one round because he takes a lot of the two-weapon fighting damage right off the bat with the trip along with that. The two bears get tripped, which means they have to next round stand up, and one of the bears grapples Skoros, but Skoros does not resist the grapple. He takes the grapple, and he does get hit by the claws, which allow that. But the whole time he's smiling because he knows what he's going to do. And Willton got a shot off on the bear that got a nice powerful shot off that seared this side of the other bear's face. And when it turned to look at Willton, there was this chomp mark right there on the other side of the face, meaning that this was the bear that had, in the first encounter with them, grappled him and tried to bite and gnaw his head off. So there was a bit of catharsis there, perhaps, for Willton. I think that's most of what happened before Kellery and Brasut got there. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I let a bear grab me because I knew it would be advantageous to me to just gain control of the grapple next go, because with Dan Bong, with improved greater grapple, with maneuver mastery from a brawler, with dirty fighting, which is a outflank for CMB, and having a bird to whoop around the side, I have a really big CMB score. So I can you grab me, that's cute.
Yeah.
And it goes a turn faster if I let them start.
So that all happened, and then Kellery and Brasut got there. Now, Brasut did contribute. He did do something. So
I went pew pew, magic missile.
Pew, pew.
It did 19 damage.
19 damage with the first level spell, just singing it out there. Can't miss. Which he did shoot at the one that was grappling Skoros, so he had no problem. The magic missile didn't make him have any chance to hit Skoros, thankfully. Of course, I don't know that it would have mattered much, because Skoros would have taken a little bit of damage from the claws, and that was it.
Yeah. But it was nice.
And then Kellery.
I came up and full round attacked, poking with a extremely large rapier, and ended up killing the bear that Willton had done a lot of work on.
Yeah, that it was one of those moments when the bear was raring up to roar at Kellery, at Willton, and then this giant-sized elf just goes right into it and skewered him on his big old sword. So, yeah. And that finished the combat basically because, there was a fun grapple moment with the bear and Skoros, because when Skoros regained the control of the grapple, it was a weird mental image, because Skoros is medium-sized and this bear is a beefy, large-sized creature. So he kind of said that he went up and wrapped his legs around the armpit and then the other side of the head of the bear, and used that instead of arms, and then used his arms to pull the bear's claw back. And when the bear tried to get out of this improvised Nelson, he dislocated his own shoulder because he nat one. So the bear was not having a good day, and Skoros just put it into knockout, and then Kellery killed it. So
put it out of its misery.
Yeah. And that's kind of where we left off, if I remember right, because we basically finished the combat. So we've summed up for you in about 20 minutes what took us an hour of gameplay. But it would have been fun to let you guys see the gameplay. Unfortunately, we couldn't.
Sorry.
Apologies. So, nothing to be done for it now, except what we just did, which is recap the whole thing for you. Any other things that happened during this session 18? Or not, session 19, excuse me.
Jason, can you think of anything? You have a way better memory than everyone else here.
I mean...
Not that I can remember of any significance.
What it does mean is that we will be able to approach the Storval stairs presumably unannounced, which was the big, we need to catch these dudes now kind of thing with this combat, because if they get back to base and raise the alarm, it's obviously going to be a lot harder for all of us to meander our way in. Now we have the element of surprise again.
And I'm fairly sure Boldrago can come to an understanding with his new friend.
It's not up to me.
Yes, we'll keep Willton away from him this time.
I mean, Wilton's just going to stay away this time.
All right.
I don't regret nothing, but I also know, when to not.
Willton regrets nothing. All right.
Not.
All right, then.
Why would I regret anything? I'm great.
Yeah.
Not as great as Egor, but pretty great.
All right.
I mean, that's very high bar you must climb towards to be as great as Egor.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed our recap. As far as anything else that happened during that session, I don't think there was. So we will go ahead and say that we hope you remember that all of the content you see on the Interplanar Crossroads is brought to you by travelers and viewers like you. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Have a great day. God bless. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
This content was made possible by travelers and viewers like you. Thank you.